We back, them brothers from Inglewood podcast once again coming to you live and direct. Excited about today's topic. Before I introduce it, I just want to say thanks to the Coalesce Group, thanks to Fruit Off the Vine, Clothing Apparel, and all of those that have been liking, subscribing, and sharing to you, our viewing audience. Just want to say thank you so much. And I'm going to throw it over to Charlie Mack and let him holler at you before we introduce this topic.
We in the building, y'all. Once again, we in the building. This is what we do weekly. We giving it to you raw and uncut. But before we give it to you raw and uncut, we don't own the rights to this music. You dig? But it sure sound good, don't it, Cam?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
yes,
we gonna
sir.
keep on doing it. Put them seatbelts on, strap them on real tight. We about to get this car rolling, baby.
No question, man. Another exciting time to be in the studio to share once again. I'm Hoopie, my co-host Charlie Mack, coming to you once again. It is very, very impressive just to lift this subject and present it to you, because I know we all can relate to it. And just as he was sharing with me off the air, every last one of us can take these subjects and these topics that we present and take a closer look at themselves to evaluate and even to just grow or just, have fun with it.
Yes, sir.
And so before we get going, I just want to introduce the topic and see how we can create some dialogue from there. The question is, it comes in like the form of a question. Are you a leader or a follower?
Uh-oh.
Are you a leader or a follower? And I'm gonna take the first stab at it, because when I think of leadership or when I think of being a leader, I gotta start at home. I look at how we were raised. 4 boys, Pooney being the oldest, you under him, then me, and then Pi, rest in peace.
Yes, sir.
I saw the pecking order. We talked about this before. So I already knew I was under subjection to leadership.
Yes, sir.
You guys were my superiors. Thank God we didn't, rule each other with an iron fist.
Yes, sir.
But then there were times when, we had to fight for our own identity.
Hey, get down and get laid down, baby. Get down and get laid down.
Really, I mean, for various reasons.
Yes, sir.
Whether it came to wearing clothes or eating meals or having downtime with activities.
Yes, sir.
It was a pecking order, right? So my first example of leadership was not just our parents, because we were taught to respect our parents, all of our elders, but really it started with you guys.
Yeah.
My understanding was that, okay, you guys are older than me, you're looking after me, therefore I gotta fall in line, and so from that aspect, I saw what we know now as protocol, a pecking order, and what happened with me was it made me aspire
Right.
to be a leader,
Right.
because when Mom was taking me and Pi down on the east side, and we never could stay at home. You guys were always at home, independent. That made me want to one day get to that level of responsibility.
Yes,
That's how I saw leadership.
Yes, sir.
As a leader, as a responsible role, and I felt like you had to earn that.
Yes, sir.
And so I saw it from that aspect, that leadership wasn't just glamorous, but it came with a lot of responsibility.
I like that.
I'll let you tell.
Yeah, my view is a little different, and that's the thing that makes our show unique, and it makes every individual unique.
Yeah.
Because everybody has their own ideas and their own personalities and perspectives on life.
Yeah.
But for me, leadership and being a leader is either you're born a leader or you're not. It's not something that you can create and try to force down someone's neck or down someone's throat to make them a leader, because either you got it or you don't.
Right.
Just like quarterbacks and just like point guards, either you're born with it or you don't have it. So, being a leader is, sometimes people call it, oh, this guy or this girl, they're arrogant or they're this or they're that. And, I've been called arrogant a bunch of times.
Me too.
Yeah, but people who really know me and who's been around me, they know, oh, no, okay, this guy's not arrogant. This guy's probably the most humble, down-to-earth person you ever want to be around. But at first, if you don't know me, you may take me as being arrogant or whatever, or cocky. But I'm really a low-maintenance dude. Okay. But at any rate, being a leader, man, it's like having that glow. It's like something innate that you have, and people want to gravitate to you. They want to be around you. Okay. They trust you because they know that you're not going to lead them astray. Okay. They know you're not going to take them down the wrong path. They know that, okay, if this guy's in charge or if this young lady's in charge, we're going to be all right.
Yeah. That's a good view.
We're going to be all right.
Yeah, that's now that you explain that in a detailed way, that is wonderful to see it from that angle. By us being athletes.
Yeah.
We've been athletes all our life, right? And we always played on the first team.
Yeah.
We were, not being braggadocious.
No, we didn't know as kids that we were good.
Right.
Because we're just kids. We didn't know that the good players are the ones who come out first or whatever. Right. We're just having fun.
You just want to be on the team.
We didn't realize that until after we got older. We're like, well, damn, I was a starter. And then we realized that when you start getting into like middle school and high school.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So even when I got to different levels, and I'll just say in basketball, football never had those issues. In basketball, there was times when I had to go behind somebody. But in my mind, I'm the best. Right. Nobody's better than me at what I do. And that was my mentality. I always brought that mentality. So I think, like you said, having an innate quality and characteristic, people see that.
Let me get a stab at it.
Sure.
It's so funny that you made me think about something. I know this young lady who she's been a leader her whole life. Mm-hmm. So she just got a new job maybe a month or two ago. Mm-hmm. And she applied for this position, but it wasn't a leader position. Okay. It was just a position. She had been looking for a job and she got blessed with a job. But remember when I said that being a leader, either you're born with it or you don't?
Yeah.
Well, when she went in and she interviewed and they started to see how intelligent she was and how much knowledge she had in that particular position, I think the first or second day, they immediately gave her a supervisor position. Because they saw, remember I was telling you, you see it.
Yeah.
It's a glow.
I got you.
She walked in, she explained to them her past experience in that particular position, and they was like, hey, you know what? How would you like to be a supervisor? Wow. She was like, oh, wow. But that's what I'm talking about when I say either you have it or you don't. A leader is someone, they don't put supervisors and managers and jurors. They don't make that juror the foreman of that jury if they don't see something in that person. I see. That person could, that juror that's the leader could be a lady or a man.
Yeah.
But somebody who
has the influence.
Someone who organizes those jurors, they say, wait a minute, this person here got it. And they immediately make them the foreman of the jury.
I got you.
And that's what it is. Either you born with it, people have to be able to, as soon as you walk in a building, people have to be able to be like, oh man, no. It's something about them. It's something about them.
Well, I was talking with, and a lot of people know the person that I'm going to mention. I was talking with Stephon Marbury some years ago.
Okay.
And, we were just chopping it up because, we both played the same position, right? So we were talking about his comeback because he was, he had just left the Boston Celtics. He was on his way over to China. Shout out to Starberry, who's putting it down in the business world. Congratulations, bro. But Steph was telling me, he said, I think in my heart of hearts, you can't make a point guard. He's born. He either has it or he doesn't.
It's the truth.
And I can relate as well, just like you articulated it and gave us an outline, a detailed outline as it relates to, you can see that thing.
You can see it.
You can just,
Because it's glowing.
Yeah, and think about this. I never petitioned and campaigned to be a captain.
Exactly.
On any of my teams.
Yeah.
But I was selected. Or I was suggested, like, oh, take him or take him. Listen, I felt like this. I'm a captain regardless whether I was selected or voted in or not. Why do I say that? Because I'm going to follow protocol. I'm going to stay with it. I'm going to be team oriented, and I'm going to go hard.
You know what's so funny?
I'm going to go hard.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you what's so funny when you just made that analogy about that, about getting picked as a captain and all that stuff. It's funny because you made me think about me being a little bitty boy at 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. I was always a teacher's pet.
Yeah.
But I wasn't the smartest kid in the class.
Right.
But the teacher saw something in me.
Yeah.
We're going to let Charles be, he's going to pass out the papers.
I got you.
I'm leaving the class. Charles is up here at the desk. You listen to him.
Mr. Lee.
But what I'm
Lee.
saying, either you're born a leader or you're not. But even these teachers, I'm a little kid. They saw something in me.
Yeah, I got you.
And people that's listening and viewing it may be a lot of you out there who can relate to what I'm saying when I say that, or when we both say that, either you're a born leader or you're just not. And I'm sure there's some people that's listening who probably was like, oh yeah, I was like that, and they probably never realized that they was a leader.
Yeah, and another thing was this. I mean, I always had you and Poonie to look up to. I felt like if I could compete with you guys in anything, then I wasn't worried about the competition that was in the neighborhood
Right.
or on my teams or whatever. And so outside of that, I was able to glean from other players. Some were my peers, some were older. However, I followed a guy that I really could relate to, had a I felt I had a very much
Similar.
Yeah. Anthony Blue
I knew
was
you were
like
gonna say
everything.
Blue.
He was like
Yeah.
everything to me.
Yeah.
Because he was like he was a silent leader.
Humble.
Man, he was a silent
Humble.
but he was so impactful.
Humble.
How he approached the game.
And they
in
knew that.
preparation,
Yeah.
in skill,
Humble.
in focus.
Humble.
This dude was dialed in, man.
Humble.
And he wasn't always verbal.
No.
But
they knew.
But when he had to speak, you heard him.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. Humble.
I mean, I saw him almost flip the locker room one day because they wasn't performing.
Out of character.
And he was an underclassman
Out of character.
when he almost flipped his locker room. So I mean, it's innate. He was that type of person that carried himself with. It's confidence too.
I'm telling you, people confuse confidence with arrogance.
Right. It's confidence.
It's confidence.
But there was so many guys that I can put my hands on and say, man, these dudes was natural. Pookie Wigington. Yeah. I mean, you just got to give him his props.
Yeah.
He was a born leader. You had
you have it or you don't.
Yeah, you had Stace Bozeman. He was a born leader. You had so many guys, man, that I can think of. Teddy Johnson. Man,
Yep.
Teddy Johnson from Inglewood was a soldier, bro.
He was a beast.
Hey, my man was all the way with it.
I already know.
And so when you look at these guys, you say, man, nobody taught them that.
I thought.
No,
You're born with it,
nobody
man.
taught these
You're
dudes.
born with that quality.
Right.
You have.
Right.
Listen, people have to trust that you're going to lead them in the right direction.
Right.
You're not going to put some clown in a leadership position and have everybody all jacked up, man. People understand, look, I trust this guy. Let me leave this guy in charge. Mom did it to me. I wasn't asking to be the leader.
Right.
I wasn't even the oldest.
Right.
But she want to leave me notes. Letters, okay, you go get the cereal.
Pass out
you
the money.
Right. She got me, that's why my brothers was hating me. She got me being a leader, and I'm like, Mom, I didn't sign up for this job. You giving me this job, these dudes is hating me over here. You know, I'm over here, and then I look, and I'm being slick. I go buy the cereal before y'all wake up, cereal and milk.
Right.
I didn't win in a box of cereal, took out the prize, and closed the cereal box back up so I can get the prize.
Right.
You know, Mom, I wasn't trying to be the leader. But people see something in a leader.
Yeah, that's true.
They see us. They see a leader. People know a leader. From the next topic we're gonna talk about is a follower.
Yeah.
What's your view on that?
You know, to me, a follower, and I just got to keep it 100.
Wait, that's what we do on this show.
True.
We
That's
keep it a
true.
buck. That's what
That's
we
true.
do. So go ahead and keep it 100,
A
man.
follower was a loser to me, man. If you follow everyone's, I mean, not just, I understand, I follow leadership.
Right.
I really do. I follow quality leadership. I'm not speaking it in that aspect. I'm talking about a guy that you'll do anything because somebody else is doing it or
Right.
somebody else said do
Right.
it, and you want to be cool and
Right.
and you're only doing it to impress people.
Right.
That's loser mentality.
Well, that's the other follower. You're right, though.
Yeah. As far as, you know, what it denotes, being a follower, I'm thinking in that context that we're talking about.
Okay.
We're saying, are you one who would make your own choices, own decisions as a leader, or are you the one that's prone to do what everybody else is doing because they're doing it? You're just being a follower. You're going along with a program. That's what I think of. And I got to throw this name out here too, because he was also a guy, he was huge in influence, small in stature,
Okay.
but this guy was a powerful, powerful impact and influence. I know amongst me and our peers, Brian Browning, bro.
Oh,
Brian Browning was a quiet leader who led by example.
Okay, well, if you're going to say Brian Browning, I got to say Marcus Huff.
Oh, of course.
Humble dude,
Of course.
but he was always,
Of course.
you know, you got to say Marcus Huff.
Of course. I mean,
Yeah.
you think of guys when they got into those positions. Like even Chris Moton,
Right.
who was a quarterback all his life, played on both sides of the ball. But it was one thing about
Well,
this guy.
we'll take your helmet off.
Of course.
Don't forget about that.
Oh yeah, he'll split your
Yeah,
head.
he give you a good cracking.
He was the type of personality that wasn't afraid to ask the hard questions. He wasn't scared to pull nobody on the carpet. So he had an innate leadership as well. And I mean, I can name so many guys, man. Otney Wren,
Right.
you know, he was our strong safety. This dude was like a man, you know. But I'm saying these are type of personalities that, bro, they was born that way. Lil Charles Jordan, he was a born leader, man. Matter of fact, Charles was so tough and rebellious as a young dude. We used to have to like pull him aside and say, "Can you do this, dude?" Like, because he was a natural leader,
We talking about followers, player.
you know.
Followers, playboy.
But I'm just saying, I mean, it's like the aspect
Right.
of you know, following and leading. It's all in the same
Yeah,
compartment.
you're right. You're right. And I had mentioned to you that there's two different followers, because you're right. There's the ones that can be led astray, and the ones that's led astray who will do anything for the clout,
Yeah.
and just to get on, and just to be a part of something. The ones that's looking for that family, you know, those are the followers.
Okay.
But also, you have some guys who are followers, but they don't necessarily want to be a leader. They just want to be, you know, like
Go with the program. Go with the flow.
they want to be behind. They want to be behind the scenes. It doesn't mean that they can't lead. It just means that I don't want the limelight. You know, we have a lot of friends who, you know, we couldn't bring them on the show because they're so shy, and
Yeah.
they're just not they're not going to do well.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that they're a follower. It just means that they don't want that limelight. You know.
Gotcha.
They don't want the limelight. So, I had a few friends who, and I don't want to call them followers, but they weren't leaders. But they wasn't busters either.
Right.
You know, but they just wasn't They don't want to be a leader.
So when you speak in that aspect of making a choice, like, no, I don't want to be out front.
Right.
But just like with that rapper, what's his name, Lil Baby, or they call him Baby, not the the present guy. I'm talking about the one that's from New Orleans with all the tattoos.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Well, from my understanding, his brother was.
Oh, you talking about
Birdman.
Birdman.
Okay, so Birdman was in the front.
I know where you're going with this, Playboy.
But his
I know where you're going with this, Playboy.
Was running the show.
Exactly.
Humble, obviously.
No, he runs the show.
Right, but you never really see him
because he don't want to be the leader.
Okay.
He don't want to be out
But
front.
he is the leader.
He's
though, right?
the leader.
He's just not the front man.
He don't want to be the front man.
Okay. All right.
You got a lot of guys in the industry that they don't want to be in front of the camera. They don't want to be on the front line. They want to be right where they are.
Like Mr. Heyman,
The promoter.
The promoter.
You got guys right now in the NFL, the NBA. You go down deep on that bench and pull them out and put them in the game, and you're gonna be like, where'd they come from? They got it.
Yeah.
They got it. But they just kind of know, like, I'm good.
A lot of them don't have the opportunity.
Yeah, right. They don't get the opportunity. And then some of us like, man, I'm good where I'm at. We know Jamal.
Yeah.
He could have started anytime he wanted to start. He's like, I'm good where I'm at.
Yeah.
Because when you become a leader, that's a big responsibility.
Yeah.
It's like when you put your name in top billing in a movie, and your name is the first name. That means you got top billing. You know what that means?
That means you got to put on the show.
That means when that movie flop,
you flop.
the co-stars ain't gonna get the blame. You are, because you got top billing.
I got you.
So people are like, okay, I'm coming to see this. Okay, his name. Okay, there. Let's do this.
See what he got.
Now when the movie flop, guess who's gonna say, oh man, the movie flopped. It was, this person was.
I got you.
Some people don't want that responsibility, man. Being a leader has a lot of responsibility that comes along with that job.
Is there a flip side? You gave us that analogy as to why some are willing to follow.
Okay. And
what about that other follower? What about the guy or the young lady that is following just because?
Because somewhere along the line, and we talked about it the other day, somewhere along the line they lost their way. They lost their way.
Were they always that way?
They lost their way. And it was something that happened in their lives, and they was like, man, I gotta find something to grab a hold on, because I'm over here in this dark place, and the minute something comes along, they grasp a hold to it. Now they become the follower. Somewhere along the line, something happened where they were like, I gotta get an identity, or either I lost my identity, or either, I gotta try to get some sort of recognition for something. It brings me back to a movie that I saw many years ago in the 80s called Can't Buy Me Love. Some of you guys know.
I remember that movie.
The actor was McDreamy.
I remember that movie.
He was the main guy, but he was a guy that was a nerd.
Yeah.
And he was mowing lawn and cutting his neighbor's lawn. But he was out there. He was a nerd. But he was making that bread. So he seen the neighbor, and she was the cheerleader.
Yeah.
So he goes, hey, let's make a deal. I'll do your homework, and I'll pay you for you to let me hang out with you and act like you're my girlfriend, so he can get some clout.
Right. I remember that.
And he got the clout, and then people found out that he was really buying his love, and he got exploited.
Right.
It happens in every aspect.
So, just like you explained earlier about leaders being born and being natural, well, isn't it the same thing about
A follower?
people who follow?
Yeah.
Some people, they grew up. Let's just say they came out their mother's womb, and as they were developing, that was that kid that followed their friends down the street. Oh, come on, Wilson. Okay,
I'm going to give you another example. And people out there that's viewing, you're going to totally be able to relate to this one. You remember that guy or girl in the neighborhood that grew up and you knew they were just the nicest little kid or the nicest little girl, and you went to middle school with them and elementary school, and the next thing you know, they become in the 10th grade and they gang banging. But then you looking at them, you like, you know where they came from. So you're like, I can't even really take this seriously.
Right.
But they banging.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait a minute. This dude was a square last year.
Right.
Now he banging?
Right.
That's a straight follower right there.
But what my question is, wasn't he like that from the beginning?
No, because he was a square. Or she was like this kid next door, but somewhere along the line, they wanted to fit in.
But
some kind of way they wanted to fit in. Okay, like I said, it goes back. When you're born a leader, you don't have to fit in. You got it. Have you ever,
but that's what I'm saying.
It's some people when you go to a party, and it's not even maybe that one person, and the guys that's listening and the girls that's listening, your homegirl, you're like, oh, she ain't coming, it ain't gonna be the same. I gotta at least have these two girls here, or these two guys here. It ain't gonna be the same.
Right.
But
I'm just saying, I'm like, you don't just wake up one day and say, hey, I'm a follower.
Yeah, no. Some do and some don't. We know some, and they've lost their lives.
But what I'm saying is, like, just like leaders are innate, naturally born, right?
Right.
I mean, we do understand and we believe that. But don't you think that there was people that we went to school with that was timid, shy?
So now you banging?
Quiet.
Now you banging? And you shooting
But
people?
what I'm trying to say is they were already easily to be influenced.
You're right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you were saying one day they was square and then next day they banged.
Okay, but I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna explain that to you.
Mm-hmm.
A leader in middle school is a leader as a 50-year-old man. They never changed.
Okay.
You go from here to here,
right,
and it's still the same.
Right.
A square who was this, like you said, timid and but all of a sudden you timid,
but always a follower.
But not even really a follower, but just in your own little way, you're just like
right.
Not necessarily a follower, but you're this guy. Like, I'm just who I am. I don't want no. It was okay. Perfect example. William Draper. He's not a leader, but he was a very, very intellectual guy, extremely smart. The same William Draper I knew when we were in middle school is the same William Draper that's the doctor,
right,
who him and his wife owns a hospital in Atlanta.
True.
But he's who he is. He didn't change.
But he was never a follower.
Right. But what I'm saying is he didn't go from being a square, because we would consider William a square, even though William was popular like everybody else. He wasn't popular in terms of athleticism or whatever, but he was popular because he was smart.
Oh yeah.
But he's still the same William Draper.
Personality.
I love him. But he's still the same guy. But you knew William Draper, you knew that this guy, from what he was, you knew he was going to go places. And it's proven.
Of course.
It's proven that he went places.
Of course.
So that person who, if you a square and if you a nerd, just be who, embrace it. So don't go from being a nerd to being out there banging. That's what I'm saying.
So you're saying that's
the follower.
The evolution of the follower.
That's the evolution of the follower. If
you're
going to be a square, you're going to be that same square as an adult. You're not going to come from being you be like, wait a minute, this dude was a square in high school. Now he in prison?
Was something.
They was never meant. Somewhere along the lines, the lines got something happened.
Something happened. The lines got
You're
blurred.
born who you are, and then all of a sudden, you don't just evolve into this gangster.
Something had to happen.
Our brother, he was a G when he was 10, 11 years old, and he a G now. He didn't get. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what it is. And I'm not. Don't get me wrong, audience. I'm not saying I'm like 100% true when I'm saying this, but a lot of it is fact. Yeah. You see it. Some people who's listening and watching, they can look at it and say, wait a minute, he's right, because I knew a guy who was this, that, next thing you know, he's,
Because I hear
I know guys like that. I'm like,
right, and I hear the rappers talk.
Some of them rappers
get upset.
Because you know why? Because some of them dudes are studio gangsters.
Okay.
Some of them dudes out there was really about that life.
Yeah, they were.
And some of these dudes, they talking about that life like, really, dude?
On the culture.
Yeah, like 6ix9ine. Come on, dude.
Yeah.
Really, 6ix9ine? You a nice guy.
That's the guy that went to prison with all the tats.
Got bread, though. But come on, dude. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you come out here in L.A.
I see it.
And I know a person who, she always says, You know, like she's like, man, I just can't respect dudes out of town talking about they Crips and Bloods because this is where it all happened at in L.A.
Of course.
You know, but you got some real ones out there in other states.
And don't get it twisted. Some of these guys moved from L.A. to those places and started, you know, some of that
they
stuff.
get it cracking. They get it jerking.
Yeah, but no, I totally get it. That's the clarity that I needed because there's a huge difference in being a leader versus a follower, but it's also an understanding of them both. Because just because you're following protocol or team orientation does not make you a loser. It doesn't make you in the context of the word, you're saying that leaders are born, followers choose to make
they choose to follow. They choose to follow.
Their decision to follow.
Exactly. They choose to follow.
Okay.
You know, it's not like they're boys, but they choose
I see the contrast.
They choose. I mean, like I was saying, some of these squares, they oh man, I want to be cool. I want to hang with the cool crowd, and all of a sudden they flip and want. That's not who you are.
That's not who you are.
Stay in your lane, homie.
Yeah.
Stay in the square lane.
Yeah, build from there.
Ain't nothing wrong with that square lane.
No.
You know, let the G's be in the G. We could have been, even though we were leaders, you think we could have been bangers?
Oh, yeah.
We could have went down. That's not who we were.
Yeah.
We stayed right in our lane, and we knew all the bangers.
Some people, they just considered me a gangbanger. And I wasn't.
You was beating up everybody. I mean, I couldn't even have my friends come around. You want to beat up everybody, homie? Come on now.
Man.
You was violent.
No, man.
Cam was violent. Hey, look, y'all. Cam was violent out there. He was what? Hey, look. Y'all looking at this dude. He the pastor.
I'm a change,
pastor.
man.
Hey, look. You know what y'all don't know about the pastor? The pastor was a dancer, too. I was his manager. Oh, the pastor was a pop locker. He had it cracking, y'all. Y'all don't know. The people that really know, they know. Hey, look, y'all. Ask DJ Pooh. They was partners.
Man, this is always great to be able to come in here and be transparent.
Yes, sir.
And be real and raw.
All day.
I appreciate the clarity. I'm sure our viewers and those that are following us does as well. But, you know, it's been great, again, just to talk about the contrast between being a leader versus a follower, but also understanding, you know, them both in its perspective context. Great subject, great discussion as usual. Hey, like, subscribe, and share. Direct people to this platform. We're trying to build. We're trying to really present some things that I believe and Charlie Mack believes that will be beneficial to you. And we're soliciting sponsorship. You know, those that feel like it would be a good thing to connect and attach their brand to this. We're just excited. We're moving forward, and we got so many great things on the horizon. And so stay with us, you know, because we enjoy coming to you bi-weekly, you know, a few times a week. It's getting great. So I'm going to throw it back to Charlie Mack and let him close us out.
You know, guys, these are our opinions, and these are our views, and sometimes, you know, you agree to disagree.
Yeah.
And I'm sure some of you guys out there in the audience is probably disagreeing or whatever. But,
yeah,
you know, it's no problem.
It's good content.
It's good content. And if you guys, like we keep saying every week, if you guys want us to talk about a particular subject, you know, put it in the remarks column under, under the YouTube thing. And just put it in there. Suggest some things. We'll see if we can jump on it, and we'll give it to you guys. But right now, you know, Elvis has left the building. You guys can go ahead and take them seatbelts off. The car didn't stop. So we'll see you guys next time. Peace.